Kia ora koutou, ko tawera te monga, ko waianiwa niwa te awa, ko Cressy te waka, no Darfield ho, ko Sam Broughton toku ingoa. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Thank you for joining this webinar. I just want to talk to you a little bit about how great Selwyn is, which most of you already know, and if you haven't moved here or experienced it yet, why don't you come and give it a try. I grew up in this space and have really enjoyed the environment that we live in, having the mountains, freshwater lakes, as well as two major rivers, the Waimakariri on our north and the Rakai River to our south. Just means that there's endless opportunities for going out and enjoying weekends, whether it's walking or picnicking or boating in those places. Selwyn's a place of opportunity. We've seen that over the last 10 years particularly, and for longer before that too, but in the last 10 years we've seen rapid growth, which means that there's been new businesses set up and new opportunities for families moving here in an employment space. Particularly, our economy relies on agriculture, on manufacturing and on construction, and those three have remained strong even in this post-COVID world. We've got really well-connected communities, obviously Rolleston and Lincoln being the biggest towns in Selwyn, but we've got a number of other small communities as well. And what I love is that each of those communities has their own sense of heart and their own sense of place with a strong connection to the land that they sit in. Whether it's Hororata or Springfield or Southbridge, each community in Selwyn is just brilliant. Just want to talk about a little about the support that we offer here at Council, which is often partnering with people, but we do have our own business directory, which is a great way for businesses to promote themselves, or for businesses to find out who is just around the corner that they might be able to supply something from, rather than going to Christchurch or finding something from Auckland. Actually understanding what's in our current economy right here in Selwyn is a great place to start, and I encourage you to look into that. Right now we're going to enter into a webinar. You're going to hear from MSD and the Chamber. I encourage you to sit back and listen, and then to connect with either MSD, with the Chamber, or with ourselves here at Council if there's any further questions you might require after this. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Hello, I'm Ebony Wilson, the Customer Experience and Partnerships Manager of the Canterbury Employers Chamber of Commerce. For those of you who are not familiar with our Chamber, we are a membership organisation and are part of a national network of business support organisations such as EMA in Auckland, Business New Zealand, who have the ear of the government, along with the Otago Southland Chamber. We are the biggest players in the South Island and are comprised of over 2,600 members. Our geographical reach is from Kaikoura to Banks Peninsula, Christchurch Central, Selwyn and down to mid-Canterbury. I would like to acknowledge our principal sponsors, Westpac, Enable and Orion, for your ongoing support of the Chamber. We couldn't do what we do without that support. At the Chamber, our focus is on helping to empower people in business and shape a business environment that promotes innovation, productivity and economic growth while supporting strong community outcomes. We do so through the provision of support from business and advocacy at both the local and national level. Along with the support and advocacy benefits, another one of the key areas of focus for our members of the Chamber is being able to offer the right advice. Here at the Chamber, we have an experienced advisory team who offer customised advice on key issues relating to areas such as health and safety, grant funding, employment relations, immigration, manufacturing and international trade. We also have online resources, guidelines and templates that are free to our members. Traditionally here at the Chamber, we hold around 70 events and around 218 training courses. Although this year has been anything but traditional, as we, like all of you, have adapted to the new normal of the fast evolving COVID environment, we have still been able to deliver via our online platforms and help people stay connected within the business community. Before I hand over to Militia, I would like to first acknowledge our specialist partners, as these specific organisations enable us to help our members with the right advice and support. Ashton Wellens, our tax and accounting partner, Mint Design, marketing, website and social media support, Lane Neve, business law. Thank you, and now over to Militia Clough, who is our business development manager here at the Chamber.
Hi, I'm responsible for the advisory and consultancy team at the Chamber, and we provide advice to our member businesses in order to get the best results through managing their people challenges. This may be in such areas as health and safety, so we would support audits, supporting putting in place management systems, policies and procedures, To employment relations issues, the employment relations issues are the gnarly aspects of employing people, things like disciplinaries, bullying investigations, performance management and redundancies. And finally, just general human resource practices and procedures, which might involve support around recruitment and retention, engagement of your workforce, wellness of your workforce, and generally people strategy. So just briefly, I want to talk to you about the types of things that we may be able to support businesses in. The case that I would like to share with you is the restructure of a company due to a loss of a supply contract. And this is commonly known as a restructuring of a business leading to redundancy. This particular example involved a member business again contacting our specialist advisors within the team to discuss their particular dilemma and in particular a change to their business circumstances due to the loss of one contract. They intended as a business to proceed to discussing with a number of employees the need to downsize and make some roles redundant. Again, stop. There is a fair and reasonable process that needs to be followed when a business is proposing to change the terms and conditions of their employees' contracts or employment agreements. The second component is that a business must have justifiable reasons to propose a change. So there must be no predetermination and no rushing through decisions that may affect people's job security, for example. Individuals must not be disadvantaged in the process, and again that is intended to avoid any claims for the business around personal grievances under the umbrella of unjustified dismissal or unjustified disadvantage to the employee. So there's a consultation period that's required to be worked through, good faith dealings on both sides, potentially a selection process if others are employed in the same role, and generally a process that reflects what a fair and reasonable employer could do in all the circumstances. So that's a bit of a snapshot at what the advisory and consultancy team do here at the Chamber for businesses. Please feel free to contact me directly for support in the future.
Thank you, Mel. With the recent events of COVID-19, the Chamber needed to act quickly. However, this is not the first time we've been faced with a crisis or adversity. I would now like to introduce Bridget Frame to talk through the COVID-19 Business Helpline and what this meant and means for businesses. Bridget.
A few days before lockdown, I got a call from the Chamber asking if I was busy. Fortunately, I wasn't particularly well occupied, so I arrived the next day and met up with Russell, another Recover Canterbury veteran. We came upstairs and saw a few more Chamber staff who we'd worked for over 10 years ago in business recovery. We've got form at dealing with disaster. Russ and I were involved with MB in the Kaikoura earthquake recovery, and Russell was also involved in business recovery around the mosque shooting, and now this. Right from the start, we knew that the key to supporting business was to develop networks to help us help business quickly. I got on the phone to a former mate at the IRD, reconnected with another old acquaintance at MB. MSD already has a great relationship with the Chamber, so we leveraged that along with our lines to Business New Zealand. We set up systems to answer calls, capture contacts, and feed themes through to key decision makers, to share knowledge between ourselves and to find stuff out quickly. Since then, we've spoken to over 3,000 businesses throughout the South Island. We've spent a lot of time Googling information, challenging that information where it lacks detail or where it's at odds with other information. As an example of that was the small business loan from the IRD and getting some clarity around that. The sorts of issues that we deal with depend on the day. There have been times when we've been watching the 1 o'clock news and then taking calls about what was just said. So we do the Googling, so you don't have to. Regan's going to talk about the Ministry of Social Development tools. Can I just leave it though, saying connected.gov.nz is a great site and you should make sure that you know what's on there. There's a really great careers advice program for those who are starting out and those who are changing careers. There are also many other government tools. We've got IRD with their Small Business Cash Flow Scheme. Now, that's actually got pretty popular on our help desk in the last few months. At the end of September, the government also released details around the Commercial Lease Dispute Service. With both of these programs, give us a call or speak to your lawyer or accountant before you go into that sort of thing. Of course, we can offer specialist support on the help desk. We've got HR professionals who can offer you advice around redundancy and restructuring, treatment of the wage subsidy, and COVID leave allowance. We've got a directory of webinars around numerous topics that you can find on our website, and training courses so you can spend your time working on rather than in the business. We know also that sometimes you just need to talk through your options with someone who's a few steps removed from the business. Our team have talked with thousands of businesses over the years, and it's unlikely there's a situation they haven't seen before. We can also act as a sounding board for your plans to manage COVID. Some businesses have called us to discuss their plans for level 2, others to talk through contact tracing. We'd also encourage you to make sure you're mentally well. Keeping mentally well is vital, and again, we encourage you to reach out where your inquiry will be dealt with confidentially. Other tools can include business mentors, a fantastic service for businesses to receive mentors from experienced people. Looking forward, there are some issues that I think businesses need to think about. Supply chain. You will know of all the rumours about all the things that are in short supply in New Zealand. For export, then the Chamber can help with export support. For imports, it can be a challenge to manage this. A friend's business has a relentless focus on managing inventory down. However, this focus has had to change to make sure there's sufficient stock both in the country and on the water to meet ongoing business demand. Staffing and changes in your business models. It will be some time before the previous models of staffing, which rely on migrant workforce, comes back. We'll need conversations around this, and business needs to be part of a sustainable solution. The domestic market. Businesses we've spoken to are pleasantly surprised that they sometimes aren't doing so badly. Construction seems okay, and some pockets of tourism are doing well, due to people being unable to travel overseas, so they're spending locally. There is a rise in the Buy New Zealand Made with the success of the Choice Facebook page. Whether this shift in consumer preferences remains is yet to be seen, but again, business needs to be part of those conversations. We've also seen different ways of working, with many workers having changed their minds about remote working. It's also forced businesses down a digital path. Anecdotally, we are hearing more about employees living where they want, but being part of a team anywhere in the world. The Chamber's a good example of this. Our digital plan was a baptism by fire, as during lockdown we hosted some 19 webinars on all things COVID for the very first time. And staff work remotely. If you call us, you will likely speak to a Glenorchy-based staff member. Short-term tactically, we saw a jump in calls when Auckland went back into level 3. Given what's happened overseas, it's likely that the virus will make its way back into the country. Given what's happening, I think it's a good plan to plan for the worst and let's hope for the best. The Chamber has a range of resources that can help you help yourself. Remember, we're on the end of the phone and we're very keen to help you. I'll hand back to Ebony now.
In summary, if your business has been impacted or you have a question or query related to COVID, nothing is too small, then we recommend calling through to the 0800 number. Alternatively, if you are interested in support to grow your business or are needing some advice or are wanting to connect with the right people, please feel free to contact the Chamber on 0800 50 50 96. Alternatively, you can email the link shown on the screen. And as Bridget mentioned, I'd like to reiterate the COVID-19 business support material that is available, and you can call through to my customer experience team to talk through the options. Thank you.
Kia ora koutou, and thank you to the Selwyn District Council and to the Canterbury Employers Chamber of Commerce for the opportunity to speak to you today and provide you with MSD's latest products and services that are available to you. So my name's Regan Jackson. I'm the Regional Labour Market Manager for MSD here in the Canterbury region. And today I'm going to take you through the MSD products and services that are currently available to you. And if you have any questions or if you're wanting more information around our products and services, please contact our work broker, Sarah Parker, on 029 909 3019. So Work and Income connects employers and New Zealand's largest pool of job seekers. For those of you that don't know, we offer a range of services to help you grow and develop your business, and these include helping you to recruit staff, financial support to take on new staff, training and work experience opportunities so staff have the necessary skills, and genuine partnerships to support business and industry. We have a specialist recruitment service operating in all areas of employment to help you build sustainable business, and we have over 20 work brokers and employment-focused staff supporting employers in Canterbury. And like I said earlier, you can contact your regional work broker, Sarah Parker, on the number that I've provided you with. So how can we help you? Our recruitment service, we offer a no-fee recruitment service to help you find candidates, and we'll work with you to understand your needs and connect you with people and we know will be a good fit in your business. We offer support for wages and training, and we're focused on getting people into work. So we can provide training or wage subsidies for new staff. We can provide you with ongoing support and advice to help your new staff settle into the workplace. We can offer short-term pre-employment or in-work training industry partnerships. We also provide support to help keep or take on new apprentices, and I will talk to you more about the new apprenticeship schemes that are available. And we can also provide support with candidates with health conditions or disabilities and helping them ease into work, and that includes wage subsidies, modifications, and or on-the-job support. For those businesses that are contracting, we also provide redundancy support, so we can provide support and advice for you and your staff if you need to consider redundancies. So please contact us if you're wishing to explore those options further. One of our best products that we have is the FlexiWage wage subsidy. So that's been designed to invest in job seekers who are disadvantaged in the job market, and by no means so many of our job seekers in the current environment are disadvantaged in the job market. So FlexiWage is a contribution to make a temporary contribution to your wages so that you can access and maintain employment. The amount paid and the duration of the subsidy is based on the client's needs as well as barriers to employment, and it reflects the level of assistance the client needs to reach the entry-level requirements of the job. And of course, with our FlexiWage product and with so many of our other products, the expected outcome is that the job seeker remains employed well after the subsidy period has expired. For job seekers that are currently looking for work in our new environment, we have a couple of really great work products to support them in their job search. The first product that I want to highlight is the 5K to Work. So this is a relocation grant to assist job seekers who have secured sustainable full-time employment, which is 30 hours a week or more, and whereby commuting is not viable. Job seekers need to have been in receipt of a main benefit or eligible to receive a benefit, and this assistance also extends to employers who offer seasonal workers. They may also be eligible if their contract is for more than 91 days. And of course, the job seeker does need to be a New Zealand citizen or permanent resident. Another product that we have available to our job seekers is the Transition to Work grant. This is a non-taxable, non-recoverable payment that can be made to help meet additional costs essential for transitioning into employment. This support is available for people on a main benefit, school leavers moving into employment, full-time students, but it excludes payments for bridging finance, people who meet the qualifying criteria and face small gaps between jobs, people re-entering the workforce, and people who have ceased work and have been supporting themselves. The Transition to Work grant is made up of 3 components. The first component is support to assist with job search costs. The second component is to support with job placement costs, whereby they may need to buy a work uniform or to help them with transport getting to and from work in the early stages of their new job. And the third component is bridging finance, when there's a period of time lapsed from when their benefit stops to when they receive their first wage. And again, for all inquiries around this support, please do contact your regional work broker and she'll be able to give you more information. Now, the Apprenticeship Boost. This is a new initiative that was introduced by government and is available for 20 months, which commenced from August this year and is now available for employers to look into until April 2022. So this has been designed to help you keep and take on new apprentices. It's available to employers with apprentices in their first 2 years of study, and the apprentice needs to be studying towards a Tertiary Education Commission approved New Zealand apprenticeship or a managed apprentice. So as an example, you may currently have a apprentice currently working for you. They may have been in your workplace for 6 months and you now need some financial support to support them during their apprenticeship that they're currently undertaking. If you're wanting to do that, please, you can apply for this online. So you can go into msd.govt.nz and navigate your way to the Apprenticeship Boost. Like I said, it's an Apprenticeship Boost payment that's been designed to help employers keep or take on new apprentices. It goes for 20 months. It's paid to employers to support the wages of apprentices who are employed and in training. And the types of jobs that are eligible for is the job must pay at least the adult minimum wage, which can include the training wage. In terms of training requirements, the apprentice needs to be enrolled in a TEC approved New Zealand apprenticeship or a managed apprenticeship that's new or existing and that leads to a level 4 New Zealand qualification of at least 120 credits. The monthly payment that supports you employing your apprentice is paid to you, and it's more in the first year and less in the second, acknowledging the amount of support needed by an apprentice while they're training. The second apprenticeship support scheme that you may be more familiar with is Mana and Mahi, which has been available for employers in the last 2 years. Mana and Mahi helps people who need additional support to get paid jobs, gain real-world skills and experience, and it supports them into long-term sustainable employment while gaining an apprenticeship or formal industry qualification. Initially, the Mana and Mahi scheme was only available to you in the first 12 months of hiring an apprentice, and in the last couple of months, that support has now been extended into 2 years. So you can now access Mana and Mahi for up to 24 months, depending on the employee's training pathway. Many of our employees who receive Mana and Mahi have been in receipt of a job seeker support benefit, as opposed to the Apprenticeship Boost scheme, whereby the apprentice doesn't need to have been in receipt of a benefit. The type of job that Mana and Mahi is eligible for must be a permanent full-time or part-time job that pays at least the adult minimum wage, and the employee's training pathway must include a formal industry qualification on the New Zealand qualification framework of a minimum of at least level 3. Financial and pastoral support is available to employers and participants while the employee is training, including a wage subsidy to recognise the support provided by the employer and access to free coaching and mentoring. There are also incentive payments paid to the apprentice when they meet certain milestones of their apprenticeship, and those payments would be made in the first year of the Mana and Mahi apprenticeship scheme. And of course, also within the Mana and Mahi apprenticeship scheme is contribution to the course fees if they don't meet the free fees eligibility. I'd now like to talk to you about the Māori Trades and Training Fund, which has been designed to support community-led employment and training programs through partnerships between Māori and the Crown, which empowers solutions by Māori for Māori. These types of projects must be led by Māori, including iwi, hapu or other Māori groups. They must focus on initiatives that will develop skills likely to be in demand over time. And the initiative should promote upskilling and employment in vulnerable communities and support people to access employment-based training opportunities who otherwise may not be able to access such opportunities. Initiatives should also provide a pathway for trainees to move into further training or employment opportunities to encourage positive labour market outcomes for communities' employers in the longer term. And as I mentioned before, the Tertiary Education Commission has now rolled out the TEC Targeted Training and Apprenticeship Fund. This pays for the cost of training for jobs and industries where demand for these workers is high, and it's available from July this year through until the 31st of December 2022, and provides free training at a sub-degree level. The targeted areas are primary industries, including agriculture, horticulture and viticulture, fisheries and forestry, construction, community support, manufacturing and mechanical engineering and tech, and electrical engineering and road transports. So if your apprentice is studying one of these targeted areas, then their fees are more than likely going to be free, which means that mana and mahi wouldn't need to pay for their course fees. If their fees aren't free, and they're eligible for mana and mahi, then a component of their course fees will be covered under the mana and mahi scheme. So there you have the key products and services that I wanted to highlight for you today. And like I say, that really is just a high-level overview at the moment on the types of products and services that we currently have available. If any of those products and services are of interest to you and you want to find out more information about how they might be applicable to you and the development of your workforce plans, please contact Sarah Parker on 029 909 3019. And one last thing, just before I finish off, I'd also like to introduce you to a new all-of-government platform that has been designed, connected.govt.nz. Connected.govt.nz has been designed for users such as yourselves to be able to go into one platform and navigate your way through the range of funding and services that has been introduced in our new environment. This includes funding and initiatives through the Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment, Department of Conservation, Te Puna Kōkiri and MSD, just to name a few. I really encourage you to check out connected.govt.nz, and if there's something in there that you're interested in and you want to know more information about, then please contact us. Thanks again.